LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot stop your new clients from emailing you at 3 a.m. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you be in 3 places at once. And while we can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
And it's a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. How do you start in Compton, California and struggle? Struggle and yet build one of the greatest nonprofits the world has ever seen, has been named one of the 250 greatest self-made Americans in history, and is the founder of an organization that helps people grow themselves, grow their wealth, and grow their esteem. Yep, my guest is the one and only John Hope Bryant. You're in for a treat tonight. You're on your way to a wealth mindset. Well, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon me. I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it. I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer. If I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. So I'm grateful for this minute, this moment. I'm grateful for all of you sharing this message and this program with your friends, family members, co-workers, making it the #1 self-help show in the country and one of the top podcasts in the world. So I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for Truist Bank for being my partner on making this program a possibility. 2 great banks decided to stop competing and become cooperative, and they created a new bank called Truist. And when you start with care, you build a different kind of bank, and that's what they've done. And then, I take a moment every show to give God some glory, to give him praise, to thank him. There were 10 lepers in scripture that got blessed, and only one came back to say thank you. I want to be at least in that one. I don't want to be the 9. I want to be in that one to say thank you for all the blessings. 20 years on this network, 20 years. That's quite an achievement, but it's because of grace. So I give God glory, and I say to you every week, God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with your life. So do something extraordinary. Well, my guest y'all know him. If you got any social media, you know him. If you've been around anywhere, you know him. John Hope Bryant is recognized by Forbes as one of the 250 greatest self-help Americans on this planet, and is the founder, chairman, and CEO of Operation Hope, the nation's largest nonprofit dedicated to financial literacy and inclusive economics, and the founder and CEO of Bryant Group Ventures, and has built a career transforming economic systems for the underserved. A 6-time best-selling author, and he has a new book called Capitalism for All. My dear friend, my brother, John Hope Bryant. Welcome, John.
Hey, honor to be with you, Dr. Jolley, and kudos to you on your last book and all that you're doing here and around the world. I know you just got back in the country from teaching in the Caribbean, so thanks for all that you do for others.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Before I go any further, I want to thank you publicly. I haven't had the opportunity to publicly thank you for giving me, Les Brown, and George Frazier the Titan of Speaking Award at the Hope Global Forum. What an honor to be able to receive that great award and to be able to be with my buddies, Les Brown and George Frazier, to get that award. So thank you, my brother, for making me part of that crew.
You're very deserving.
Well, thank you.
All three of you.
Well, thank you. Well, you got a new book. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But before we do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, that you really played a major part in making this book a possibility. Not just a testimony on the back, which says rich is good, wealthy is better, is about mastering the art of living an abundant life filled with purpose, passion, and joy. That's a nicety. But what is the more powerful part is on the inside of the book, where I have a whole chapter written about John Hope Bryant, starting with his mother, Juanita, who I had the honor to meet. My wife fell in love with. They became friends, in fact. She's gone on to be with the Lord, but we developed a friendship. Brian, although she never made more than $18 per hour at her job, Juanita Smith consistently lived below her means.
That's right.
And invested her money into real estate. Over her lifetime, she bought 7 homes, buying them, living in them, updating them, and then renting them after she bought the next home. And but by doing that 7 times, she amassed a net worth of over $1 million before she passed. Am I right about it?
You got that exactly right. Juanita Smith was a bad sister, and she has been promoted. She's gone on to a better place. She worked at McDonnell Douglas Aircraft, now Boeing Aircraft, post-merger, for 32 years.
Wow.
And she was and remains my shero and my role model.
Yes. What a wonderful lady. And I'm so glad we got time to spend with her before she graduated to her next level. In the book on page 99, I have a whole chapter that starts by rising up and maximizing hope. And it starts with the story about John Hope Bryant, who grew up in Compton, saw how his father made a lot of money, but squandered it on gambling and get rich quick schemes. They lived in small rental homes that not fancy, but had basic shelter. But John Hope Bryant realized how important housing was and how housing gave him comfort, even in the toughest parts of town. Due to that insight, he struggled, finally was able to buy a small home when he was in his 20s. When he could afford a larger home, he decided to rent out the first home. The tenants who moved in were grateful. He continued to work hard, save his money, was able to buy another property and then another and another. And over time, he has owned thousands of rental properties. In an interview I had with him on this show some years ago, he changed my thinking. He did something that sparked what this book came out of, what came to be this book. He said, to be wealthy, you must first work diligently so you can make money and then make sure that your money goes to work to make more money. You must invest your money and grow your money. The key is that you make your money during the day at work and you grow your money at night while you sleep. That one line, John, was the premise for me saying, I've got to write a book that inspires people to understand the difference between being rich and being wealthy. And that is what built this whole book. Now it's going away on its way to being a global bestseller. And the reason is because teaching people that rich is money you earn from what you do, typically during the day.
Yeah.
And wealthy is money you generate from what you own, usually while you sleep in bed.
Yeah, rich is a contract.
Talk about that. I saw that on social media. You said rich is a contract. I thought that was so profound. Talk about it.
Yeah. So if you have a lottery winning,
yep,
you have a contract with the state.
Yes.
Where you won the lottery. It has a beginning date, an end date. It has terms and conditions, and it's one payment, or it's a series of payments you negotiated. But it's contractual, and it will end at some point.
Yes.
If you're an NBA player, national basketball, or you're a Major League Baseball player, or you're a football player, NFL, or in professional sports, that's a contract.
Yes.
It has a beginning date and end date, and the cash flow coming through these contracts. Or you're an entertainer.
Yes.
And you've got a recording contract.
Yes.
Like Whitney Houston had one of the largest or the largest recording contracts of her era. It was $100 million. It was extraordinary.
Yes.
But that contract wasn't even income. It was an advance.
Right.
On income, on revenue.
Yes.
So she had to work it off.
Yes.
The problem is that she stopped working before the off button came.
Right.
And so she was upside down $60 million when she decided, I don't want to do any more albums right now. Well, they'd already given her the money.
Yes.
So when she had living expenses or taxes to pay, she ended up having to go to her mentor at the record label to ask for a loan for $1.5 million. She was in hock to them, and she didn't pay off that contract until she died. When she died, there was a surge of $40 million in revenue, and she ran that. She made that in her afterlife. But that's a real perverted example of this. But I wanted a dramatic example. Sorry, but I wanted to really make the point that whether you're living that cash flow, money, the bag, the dollar is overrated. That if you're an NFL player, 70% of all NFL players and about that of NBA players are bankrupt 5 years after retirement. About 70% of those who win the lottery bankrupt 5 years after receipt because no one taught you financial literacy, because no one taught you about how this free enterprise system works and capitalism works. And so you thought that money, really important now for our people, we think that money is the end all be all. So much so that there's an entire industry now that produces fake money. They produce fake bills that look real, that get paid, that get purchased by people doing social media clips, flossing what looks like tens of thousands of dollars or a stack of $800,000. It looks real. That's fake money 9 times out of 10. It's fake money from a company in Las Vegas or wherever who make these things that look, they're props.
Wow.
But only we have made a cottage industry of something that is representative, it's not wealth and it's not even riches. It's representative of one or both of those things. So if money is only a transfer of value, I mean, I could say, I'm going to give you this mic and I'll trade it for those screens behind you. That's an exchange of value. So all currency is an exchange of value. But because we're not financially literate, we think when we make some currency, some cash, get that dollar, get that bag, we think when we get over to $10,000, we think we're rich. No,
right.
You've got cash flow. And if your inflow exceeds your outflow, then your overhead will be your downfall.
Say that one more time. Say that again.
If your outflow exceeds your inflow, then your overhead will be your downfall. And you'll find that you got too much month at the end of your money.
Yes.
If you're an NBA player or NFL player and you had a contract that cash flowed you $3 million a year, and you have expenses of $1.5 million a year, you're broke.
Wow.
You got to pay the tax man. You got your baby mama fees. You got you got to hook up your mama.
Yep.
You got your bling tax, and you got your living expenses. You're not saving anything meaningful. And even if you save $500,000 a year, most people who make this $3 million a year don't. If you're saving $500,000 a year, so now at the end of 3 years, your contract's over. You have $1.5 million in the bank, and you have annual burn rate expenses of $1.5 million in this example. You last 1 year.
Hold that thought. We're going to come right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
You can call on me when you need me. Call me. You can call on me. Call me. You can call on me. Pick up the phone. You can call and call me.
I'm so excited about the response to my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. So many have said that the book has had a profound impact on their thinking. I wrote the book to teach others what I have been taught over the last 20 years, interviewing billionaire after billionaire. And most of those billionaires started with nothing. I want to offer you some of the most powerful chapters in the book as a gift. Go to richisgood.wealthyisbetter.com to read the free chapters so you can get on with growing your wealth. Get the free chapters at richisgood.wealthyisbetter.com. Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and support for the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way show and podcast comes from Truist Bank. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. When you become a homeowner, your future starts to feel different. That's power, knowing you could be creating generational wealth to pass down. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Truist has programs that could help you buy a home with a lower down payment than you might expect. And their professional guidance helps you build belief that home ownership is within reach. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about options that are available to you. They will listen to your goals and follow through. Reach them by calling 855-562-1579. Do this for your family and your legacy. That number is 855-562-1579 or visit truist.com/homebuyer. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Certain programs and geographic restrictions may apply. Contact a loan officer for details. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way show and podcast around the country, around the world. And I want to encourage everybody, wherever you are around the world, to send me an email, info@williejolly.com. If you're in another country, send me an email saying, hey, I heard you, whether it's on the show, on the network, or whether it's on the podcast. And let me know how you're enjoying these programs that we're developing and creating for you. Info, I-N-F-O at Willie Jolley, WILLIEJOLLEY.com. My special guest is John Hope Bryant, and he is one of the great entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and thought leader. And he was telling about contract. I thought that was so profound. I saw that if you're an NBA player, you got a contract. If you're a recording artist, you got a contract. If you are a lottery winner, you got a contract. Contracts will let you get rich. But how do you what's the difference between that getting rich with the contract and getting wealthy? What makes that wealth happen?
Well, riches is actually, without financial literacy, it's just a license for somebody to separate you from the money that somebody gave you or the contract allowed you. And it's just a matter of time before you're going to go broke.
Wow.
Without financial literacy, you're just succeeding and failing at a much larger dollar amount with more zeros behind you. Because there's a whole industry is designed to separate you from your wallet. If you're an NBA player, a football player, a basketball player, a rap star, whatever, the accountant and the lawyer and the finance office at the auto dealership, they've been there for 20 years.
Right.
They've seen performers, that's what you are.
Yes.
Come and they've seen you go.
Yep.
I mean, Whitney Houston, I don't mean this in any kind of pejorative way, she was a voice for rent. And what I mean by that, because she was a genius, I don't want anybody to think I'm negatively talking about Whitney Houston. I'm talking about in a non-emotional business perspective, because I know her ex-husband, Bobby, who's a great guy, also a brilliant talent. But she was a voice for rent in the sense that she didn't own her songs. She didn't own her publishing. She didn't own her intellectual property rights. She didn't own any of the films. She didn't own the studios. She didn't own the place where she recorded. She didn't own any of the assets that made her who she was. She just simply went and sang. Right. And they paid her to sing. And when the money ran out from the payment of her singing, she went broke. And everybody else made, if they gave her $100 million, they made billions off of her. Wow. And I'm just sick and tired of that. So the opposite of that is, here's somebody else who had a spending problem, was Michael Jackson. And he would buy the world wherever he was. He'd spend. But Michael Jackson, who would have died broke also, but Michael Jackson was a brilliant ownership businessman. You make money during the day, as you said, Willie, you build wealth in your sleep. Compounding, stocks, bonds, businesses, intellectual property rights, education. There's a lot of things that compound. Employees allow you to compound. Work when you sleep, build wealth when you sleep. Michael Jackson had his own publishing rights of the songs that he wrote and owned. And Michael Jackson had enough humility to say, you know what? I'm pretty bad. I'm amazing. But I want to own the Beatles catalog. That's bigger than me. Because of racism and bias, I'll never be as big as the Beatles economically. But let me buy. So he has one of the founders of the Beatles, what should he own? And he said publishing rights. So he said, well, great. And then he asked him, can I buy yours? And the guy said no. And so he went and did it anyway. And that member of the Beatles didn't talk to him for a long time, upset with him that Michael was just made a brilliant business move. By the way, the same moves he would have made. I don't want to name his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he would have bought Michael's publishing rights if he had an opportunity to, because it's all just business. It's not personal. It's business. So Michael ended up owning $1 billion worth of publishing rights, his and others. And he ended up selling half of that to Sony to clear a lot of his debt. But the half that he had left is now today worth $2 billion.
Wow. So Richard, the contract, people who are on a contract could be an accountant. It could be anybody who has a job. In fact, let me tell you something that came up while I was in
a garbage collector has a contract. A teacher has a contract. I mean, a person who works at a fast food restaurant technically has a contract. Right. My mother had a contract working hourly for McDonald's there. Anybody, the key was my mother took her riches relative to her life and turned it into wealth.
That's what I want to get to, because what I said to the people in the Caribbean when I was speaking to them, I told them about the 5 money mindsets I talk about in the book. You got the 1 day mindset, the people stand on the corner with a cardboard box saying, give me enough money for the day. You got the 30-day mindset, people who are on fixed income, whether it's Social Security, retirement, government assistance, whatever. Then you got the 1 year mindset, people who live year to year and they think year to year. Then you got the decade mindset, which are usually entertainers or athletes. Get a baseball player, get a 10-year contract to play baseball, $100 million balling for 10 years. But if he doesn't modify that lifestyle after 10 years, he's going to be broke. And finally, you got the wealth mindset, the generation mindset. Now, one lady at the end of my presentation, I opened it up for questions and answers. This lady said, I work for the government and I'm on fixed income. I'm on a contract. And I had never thought of that. That's what brought me to when I heard you say, she said, I'm on a contract. I work on fixed income, no bonuses, no anything. I know what I'm going to make every year. That's it. I'm on fixed income. What do I do to create wealth? My answer was live below your means, 1, and invest the difference, or get a second job and use that money to invest. So go into that, John, because that's really, 1 is a contract. What can people do when they're living on a contract, but they want to grow wealth?
Yeah. So if your inflow exceeds your outflow, then your overhead will be your downfall, is what I said earlier, which is what you said, by the way, or put another way, there's two ways to make money: make more or spend less.
That's right. That's right.
So
right.
in order to get to a point where you can invest to create wealth, you first have to modify your spending or your earning capacity. So when at Operation Hope, and by the way, all of this is why I wrote the book Capitalism for All, which is now a national bestseller at Amazon and Walmart and Barnes and Nobles, I believe is there, but I know it's a bestseller at Amazon and Walmart and USA Today, Publishers Weekly. That's the reason I wrote this book, is to demystify money and capitalism and how it works. Before this, I wrote Financial Literacy for All, and I contributed to your book because I knew that you had an enormous platform and you could reach an audience that I can't, and you're demystifying this and making it normal. And what I want to demystify is that, and we do this at Operation Hope with my coaching and counseling for my 1,500 offices for Operation Hope. Lady walks in and says, I make $35,000 a year and I got 3 children and I'm broke. No, you're not. You have a job? Yes, you're not broke. First of all, I notice you're smoking. Yeah, I smoke. Do you know the box says the stuff will kill you? On the back of the box, it says the stuff will kill you from the Surgeon General. Yeah, I know. I said, okay, let me see if I can help you stop smoking. Seems though that the health warning wasn't enough. If you how many smoking cigarettes do you smoke? Oh, I do a couple packs a day. I did a quick calculation. You know, that's $3,000 for the year. She stopped smoking. so okay. What I said? What else do you do? Give me. Look, we're gonna break down your budget. I don't have a budget. Exactly. We're gonna break down. I don't make enough money to have a budget. No wrong. Everybody needs a budget. Let's break down your spending. And so, wait a minute. You go to Starbucks? Yeah. How often? Oh, once or twice a week. Okay, great. What do you order on average? Frappuccino. Okay, that's my little treat. Okay, my calculation here is you spend about $3,000 a year at Starbucks. So $3,000 and $3,000 smoking in Starbucks. By the way, that's $6,000. $6,000 on $38,000 is just under, that's almost 20% of your income.
Right.
She stopped smoking, and she got a Keurig machine for the house to make whatever coffee characteristics she wanted based on the different brands you can get from Keurig. She owns a machine for $120. She bought the machine, and she's happy as a clam in water. Now she said, okay, now what else can I do? Okay, you have 3 children. Yep. You ever heard of the Earned Income Tax Credit? What's that? Congratulations. Excuse me? The government, that's called a bonus for working. As EITC has been around since 1977. If you make $38,000 a year, have 3 children, the government owes you about $7,500 cash. My team will help you rewrite your tax returns or write your tax returns to get you your money year round. And by the way, if you've never filed for EITC, it's retroactive for 3 years. She said, excuse me? We said, we're using excuse me a lot in this meeting. That's almost $20,000. So you make $38,000. Have you ever seen $20,000 in your life with nobody's hand on it? No, ever. I've never seen that much money. Okay, well, congratulations. My team's going to do your modified tax return. Within a month, you're going to get a tax refund check from the federal government for about 15 grand, 17 grand. Let's open a bank account for you. Let's put the money in that bank account. So now we've just created, in this short time we were together, $21,000 of income savings and revenue for you. What are you going to do with it now? Now she's going to pay down her credit cards, and she's going to pay off the car loan or pay it down, and she's going to put some money in the savings. Or I'm going to buy a house as a down payment for a house in one of the southern states. Now she's got dreams. Right. And then when we started we worked on it more. She found out because her credit was tore up and the flow up. She was paying 15 to 18% for a car note. Wow. Well, that's not a Mercedes that she was driving. It's a Mercedes payments. Right. Mercedes payments. Right. Mercedes payments. And it was an economic bomb. Right. And so we explained to her what a car dealership does. The cheapest thing, the least expensive thing at a car dealership is selling cars. Sorry, the least profitable. They've got a finance office and a maintenance office. That's where they make their money.
That's
so
what
anyway,
they make. Hold that thought. We're going to come back to the rest of that story. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back after station identification. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and thought to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and podcast. I'm excited about being with my guest, John Hope Bryant. We're going to come back to that thought, but I wanted to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Truist Bank, for their incredible partnership and have been for many years. What makes our partnership so special is because they serve me with knowledge and care. And that makes all the difference. They have the banking tools I need, the financial know-how to help me with whatever I need, and they care about helping me hit my goals. That's not just for me, it's for you too. And let me tell you, that combination of knowledge and care, it helps unlock possibilities. Check out what I'm talking about at truist.com/unstoppable. Truist.com/unstoppable. Truist Bank, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. My special guest is the one and only John Hope Bryant. Y'all have seen him on social media. He's all over the place on social media. His team has done an incredible job because he's giving so much good, powerful content on IG and on Facebook free. So follow him. I'll tell the name of the book before we go any further. Then we're going to get back in that conversation where people can get the book. You kind of mentioned it, but I want the name of the book and where they can get it right now, please.
The book is called Capitalism for All, Inclusive Economics and the Future Proofing of America. The forwards are by Ambassador Andrew Young, who was on that balcony when Dr. King was assassinated, the only man to take Dr. King's teaching and build a city around it. That's Atlanta, Georgia, when he was mayor here, and brought the Olympics here. Michael Milken, the innovator of modern finance on Wall Street, who financed Reginald Lewis, the first $1 billion financing of a black man on Wall Street. And then Ed Bastian, the CEO of the most profitable airline in the world, Delta Airlines, which has a stakeholder capitalism model where they actually give financial coaching to every one of the 100,000 employees, $1,000 emergency savings account when they go through our coaching and counseling at Operation Hope, and the profit sharing of their 100,000 employees when they do well. So as the company succeeds, they succeed. That's why those three men are my forwards on this best-selling book. You can get it at Amazon, digital, physical, and audible version. I read it. You can get it on Walmart. You can get it at a black bookstore if you want to support local businesses. That's great. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. Basically, it's available everywhere.
And I highly recommend everybody go out and get that book. Get copies for yourself and for your family members, because we have to teach financial literacy to everybody who we can, and particularly our family members. And in this book, John talks about financial literacy, entrepreneurship, ownership, credit education, investing, and economic self-sufficiency. And so I think it's critically important everybody get copies of the book and do it right now. And you're going to be glad you did. You're going to be glad you
get
did.
Jolley's book along with it.
Thank you. Rich is good, wealthy is better. Actually, I did a synopsis of some of the things about your book that I wanted to really dig in on. And at the end of AI, ChatGPT, it says, by the way, these books are like brother and sister. Yeah. And that was so, and AI knew that. AI said that to me. Okay. Yeah. These books are like brother and sister. They should go hand in hand. So rich is good, wealthy is better. And you do that, and you're going to be on your way to seeing some great things that John Hope Bryant is saying to our community. Okay. You were talking about getting people, that lady who came in and you helped her go from just an hourly worker on a contract to start to think wealthy thoughts. And that's a daily based decision making. Am I right about it?
Yes. It's a mindset.
Yes.
Wealth is first and foremost a mindset.
Yes.
The word capital has nothing to do with money. The word capital comes from the Latin root word capitas, meaning knowledge, broadly defined knowledge in the head.
Yes.
The word credit has nothing to do with money. The word credit is a Latin root word credito, which means credibility, essentially. So if you want to access credit and get capital, you have to have the knowledge and the credibility to trigger someone wanting to invest money or back you for a purchase.
Yes.
And so if you start getting to, and banks, a trust business, banking is a trust business. So none of these things has anything to do with money. And so I keep trying to get our community from stop obsessing on the most obvious part of capitalism, which is the cash. It's the least important part of the entire endeavor. All a dollar is a mechanism to exchange value. A check. I mean, I can take back in the you and I coming up, we did checks.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We write a check with the account number on it, routing number. We deposit the check or give it to somebody. People still get paid often with checks, but checks was a way of life. You gave checks for everything, grocery stores, every place you would hand them a check. You had a check book that you carried around. Certainly our parents had check books. That's how they operated. Well, I could take your shirt, Willie, and I could, on the back of your shirt, take this yellow marker here, and I could write on your black shirt, pay to the order of Dr. Willie Jolley, $375, routing number, account number, date, memo for purpose, because he's a great guy, 10 of his books, signed John Hope Bryant. You could then take that shirt of yours that I just signed to the bank.
Wow.
And the bank would have to go, the teller would have to take your shirt into the back and call the manager and call the legal department. And they would be back there for 15 or 20 minutes trying to figure out how not to get sued, because trying to figure out whether they have an obligation to cash your shirt. Because all your shirt, your shirt is just simply replacing a check.
Wow.
It's a transfer of the value. So the check and the currency and the ATM card are serving as a mechanism to move your value from one place to another. That's all it is.
Wow.
So knock it off. Stop it, everybody. Focus on asset ownership.
Asset ownership.
And the asset cannot be on your
Ass.
Right.
So in that clip that I saw, you actually talked about the difference between a contract and the person who's the wealth is the contract person signs their check if they were paid in check on the back, and the person who's the owner signs it on the front. Am I right?
Yes. One person. So the civil rights movement. So in the first Reconstruction, we got no check. Free labor.
Right.
$21 trillion of free labor. I put in my book, Capitalism for All. I break all the math down from the first Reconstruction to what I call now the third Reconstruction. I break it all down, 200 pages of math. In the second Reconstruction, you have the ability to cash a check. Now you got gainful employment.
Right.
Access. In the third Reconstruction, we want you to write the check. Become the owner.
Yep.
The owner of the business, the enterprise. Yes. Own the real estate. Own your home. The number one way you build wealth in America is home ownership. That all starts with a shift in how you think. Yes. Mindset.
As I write in the book, wealth starts in your mind. It's a mindset. And what I've told people, I was on a big event before I left the country with a group of financial advisors. They brought me in to speak, and I told them, let me tell you what I say to people in just about every speech about the new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. I say, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm a really good listener. Yep. And for 20 years, I've interviewed billionaire after billionaire, multimillionaire after multimillionaire, and I learned what they had done and the lessons they taught. And I just took that as almost as a court reporter and put it in the book. Just as, and one of the, John, one of the greatest compliments I've been getting recently as I've been doing interviews for the book is over and over, I get the compliment from a person who read the book and an interview with me said, this book in our estimation is the sequel to Think and Grow Rich.
Wow.
Wow. When I heard that, I said, wow. Now, what happened there? Napoleon Hill interviewed the titans of business of his day and took all that information. He was not a wealthy man or a rich man at that point, but he took that information, put it in a book became the number one self-help book of all time. Yep. For 20 years, I've interviewed the likes of Bill Marriott, David Rubenstein, Bob Johnson, Sheila Johnson, John Hope Bryant, Dave Stewart, one after another of these successful wealth creators. And I just took what they taught me and put it in the book. That's why your chapter is so profound, because you're the first person I ever heard say, you get rich during the day, you get wealthy at night while you sleep.
And by the way, I don't deserve credit for that statement. I got that learning. I'm nosy, man. Like you, God gave you two ears and one mouth. You listen twice as much as you talk. Yes. I got that lesson from my billionaire business partner, friend, Tony Ressler. So Tony and I are dear friends. He owns the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes.
People know him for that.
I met him at your Hope Global Forum, didn't I not?
That's right. Yeah. He's the 150th richest man in the world or something. And people know him because of the basketball team he owns, but he actually built a company called Ares Management, which is $650 billion under management based in New York. My other friend, Michael Arrighetti, is CEO there. And he built a company before that called Apollo. And he, I don't want to tell his business, but it's, he's worth in the teens.
Right.
Billions. Now, Tony backed and Michael backed my Promise Homes company venture that I built to 9 figures and sold it over 5 years. By the way, listeners, a business is meant to be built, grown, developed, and sold. Don't get emotional about a business. The purpose of a business is to monetize it.
Yes.
To have a liquidity event, to sell it.
Yes.
Don't get all wrapped up in the emotionalism of it. You can drive it back into the ground. There are many examples of Black businesses that built, and then the second generation wasn't passionate about it. The third generation ignored it, and it failed. I mean, it literally is a remnant of itself today. I don't want to name names, but people can just
we got something we all know about that everybody in our community knows about. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, Tony Ressler told me a couple of things, and I sold this company for 9 figures in 2021 Christmas Eve. I worked on Christmas Eve.
Hold that thought. I'm going to come right back to that. I'm going to go back to the Christmas Eve and selling the company, and then the lessons you learned from Tony. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show, and for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Motivated, highly motivated, gonna take you to the top. Motivated, highly motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there. I went to the boss, he laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry, I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said I, gonna take it to the top. I said oh yeah, said I'm never gonna stop. My friends said I was crazy when I told them all goodbye, but the only one who's crazy is the one who's afraid to try. They said I'd never make it, said I would not survive, but I knew I had to make it. It was either do or die. So I grabbed hold of my dream and I put it in my heart. I stepped out on my faith and learned to really trust in God. Knew I had to fight.
Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, here to thank Truist Bank for their sponsorship of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast. Now, if you're a longtime Wealthy Ways listener, you know I believe that mindset is the key to success, and so does Truist. That's why they've created their incredible resource, Money and Mindset. It's full of tips to help you with your finances and help you with your well-being. You can get articles, quizzes, calculators, and hey, even more podcast information that will bless you, all for free and for anyone to use. Check it out today at truist.com/money and mindset. Truist.com/money and mindset. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care, and Truist Bank is a member FDIC. Leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank. And we're back, Dr. Willie Jolley, with my special guest, John Hope Bryant. John, you were telling the lesson that you sold your company starting out on Christmas Eve, and you've sold it over 5 years and 9 figures, and lessons you learned from your friend Tony Ressler, who also taught you about making you get wealthy while you sleep at night. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you one lesson that was a third lesson, which is being frugal. When you go to the basketball games with Tony, he owns a team.
Yes.
He's up in the 9th row wearing some jeans with his wife, who's also very casual, and a polo shirt or something, and a baseball cap. I'm sitting next to him with my wife, and he's counting the $4,500 per seat front row occupants. He's counting whether they're all occupied, because that's all revenue for him. Wow. And there's 9 rows to him. He's happy to give up all those seats to everybody else, because and when you go into the players parking lot where we park when we go as guests, the least fancy car in the parking lot is his, and he's writing checks to all these players with his petty cash. Again, they have a contract. He's got the wealth. Now, wow. What I say that when the wire transfer came through and I sold this company, the Promise Homes Company, I sold the majority of it. I'm still a minority shareholder, but I sold the majority of the company Christmas Eve. I got the wire transfer while going through Taco Bell.
Through Taco Bell.
I ordered a number 3 hard shell Taco Supreme. I think it's the taco, and It's either one or the three. Anyway, I literally grabbed the bag as I was getting the wire transfer confirmed on my mobile phone. And I didn't go to some fancy thing. I didn't go on some Drake. Look, it's frugal. Like I got to go back to work. And I went back to work.
Right.
So Tony told me this second lesson was if you don't quit, you can't fail. Now he used some additional French 4-letter words to emphasize this point. But for this audience, I'll say the sanitized version is: you don't freaking quit, you can't freaking fail. Right. And the number 3 is you make money during the day, you build wealth in your sleep. Wow. And that hit me like a bolt of lightning when he told me that. I don't know, at this point 9 years ago or something. And it just stuck with me. It made all the sense in the world. And it just struck me that most of my friends were making money during the day and they thought they'd made it.
They thought they were making it. Here's where it hit me, John. Let me tell you why it hit me. I interviewed Bob Johnson years ago, probably 18, 19 years ago. And Bob said in his conversation, just by passing, my goal is to make more money while I'm in bed. Now, poor ignorant me, though, John, poor ignorant me was coming from the motivational speaker mindset that said, look, folks, you got to get up early. You got to stay up late. You got to grind. You can't make no money in bed. Get out that bed and get going. Poor ignorant me, when Bob said that, I couldn't fathom. How do you make money in bed? That's
Dr. Jolley, that wasn't poor ignorant you. That was phase 1 you. That was brilliant.
That's right.
Phase 1. Look, this iPhone I've got here is full of software upgrades. It's a 17 Pro. But as soon as you get this phone, within 2 to 3 months, Apple sends you a notice and says, please accept the 17.5 software upgrade. Now I'm up to 18.9, I think it is. Yes. It's the same phone, but the upgrade of the software.
That's good. That's good.
You just needed a software upgrade. But when you were starting out as a motivational speaker, if you're not speaking, you're not earning. If you're not earning, you aren't living. You're not building your reputation, your brand. Right. So in the first version of You and Me, that was the business plan. That was it. So graduate. Other software upgrades emerge in you, and you have to be smart enough and nosy enough. I keep telling this generation, shut up. Yes. Stop talking. Just shut up and listen. I'm so tired of these commenters on Instagram who just have too many opinions. You're 30 years old. You're 28 years old. You got lucky. Shut up and listen. I'm telling you, your wisdom comes from stripes and scratches. You don't have scratches and stripes, which is time and experience. You don't have wisdom, which means that this thing you're doing is going to end. It's going to end badly. Shut up and listen. And so what you have done and what I've done is to shut up and listen. Absolutely. You shut up and listen to Bob Johnson. I shut up and listened to, in this example, Tony Ressler. And they took the story and went from there. I'll tell you one other thing that I haven't said to anybody else. There's a whole thing about politicians. These billionaires and these 100 millionaires don't pay any income tax. Now, please hear me now. Everybody above $100 million in wealth does not want a 1099 anything. Right. They don't want an income because that's the highest tax rate possible. That cash flow, that contracted bi-weekly, predictable cash flow that pays regular bills comes with a 38 to 50% tax bill attached to it. Right. But if you can afford to live off assets and the liquidation occasionally through capital gains of stocks or some real estate or a business or a joint venture liquidation, or a loan against one of those assets. I'm getting it too far. Let's just stay with the liquidation. You pay 20% one-time capital gains tax. So do you want to pay 20% one-time capital gains tax every couple years? Or do you want to pay 38 to 50% every 2 weeks. It's simple math.
Simple math.
So a person who has real wealth does not want an income. So they're not paying an income tax, but 70% plus of all taxes paid in America are paid by people like me, are wealthy people. So they're not getting away with murder, but they're just paying taxes through income tax, sales tax, consumption tax, gas tax, different property tax. They're just not paying an income tax. And here's another cheat. I'm gonna give you one last one.
Sure.
When you really master this game, you get a loan against your asset. And you pay no tax at all. In fact, ideally, you write off the loan proceeds because it's a commercial loan. That's a whole nother.
Also, you buy real estate and then you take a depreciation on the real estate that then is not income, but it is on your taxes. It says you lost money on this because the government gives you X amount of depreciation credits. Am I right?
You're making smart sexy, good brother. That's commercial real estate. Now, please, audience, listen to this. People argue with me about home ownership. Let me tell you something. If you want to be a renter, God bless you. You're renting from a guy like me. You're paying off my mortgage.
Right.
Gets you there. Now, if you're renting, literally, you're taking opening a window, and throwing your money out the window. You are paying another company to rent their space for 30 days.
Yes.
No problem with it. But the whole tax code is designed around home ownership.
Yep.
You write off the mortgage payment. You write off the depreciation you just mentioned. The appreciation that it goes up in value beyond what you owe is free money up to $500,000. You don't pay a dime of tax on it. This home ownership is gangster. It is free money, and you get the money back you're paying yourself.
Right.
In a mortgage payment, because 2/3 of the 30-year mortgage is interest.
Right.
It comes back to you in a tax refund. You get the money back. You're paying yourself rent for a property that's going to go up in value. So some guy would say, "Oh, John, I don't want to own the house. I don't own the house. The bank owns the house. If you don't pay,
if you don't pay, they will. But if you pay, you're buying a brick every month."
And Truist Bank, who supports you,
yes,
they're my largest platform of Hope Inside offices in the country. Last time I checked, it was 700 or 800 locations I have with them. They've been a fantastic partner. Bill Rogers, their CEO, and Dante Wilson is a brother, is in charge of the entire branch network at Truist Bank. They are really a model institution. I'm glad they're sponsoring you, supporting you. But I remember a rap star was back when they were called SunTrust.
Yes,
was cursing them out. SunTrust Bank is racist. And I said to him, "Well, you weren't calling them racist when you had #1 hits and they loaned you a loan for a Rolls Royce convertible and a mansion. But the difference is now you're broke and you're not paying your car note and paying the mortgage, and now they want their stuff back, and you're mad at them. Don't be mad at somebody for adhering to a contract and you didn't.
Right. Why
are you mad at them now? You weren't mad at them when they gave you the loan. So fair exchange is no robbery. Don't get mad at a bank doing its job."
Wow, man, the great interviews always go quickly. John, again, this new book, tell everybody the name of the book and where they could get it.
It's Capitalism for All. And it's already a bestseller, everybody. So by the time you read the preface of this book, you'll be mad at me because you won't want to put it down after that.
I concur, and I want everybody to go get the book, read it, then reread it. Or as my friend Harvey McKay says over and over whenever I interview him, he said, "Don't just read this book, study it. Yeah. Make notes in the margins, learn from it, grow from it, so you can grow your wealth." That is what John Hope Bryant teaches people to do. John, you're just a wealth of knowledge. I'm grateful to call you my friend.
Honored, and thanks for making smart sexy.
Amen.
Everybody buy his and my book because they're not read books, they're study books.
Yes. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better by me, and then John Hope Bryant's
Capitalism for All.
Capitalism for all. And folks, remember, he said it about Truist. They are a great bank. If you have not checked them out, go to truist.com. They even got free stuff on their website,
including us.
Yeah, that's right. We are both on their podcast and all sorts of stuff.
Operation
Go check it
Hope.
out.
Yeah.
Money and Mindset podcast. Do whatever you can, but go to truist.com. And then I want to thank everybody again for sharing this with their friends and family. And lastly, I want to invite you to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, where you'll get access to all my websites, my faith-based, my business, my music. All of those are Win with Willie, motivation for your teens, everything right there, winwithwillie.com. And join us every Monday night, 9:00 Eastern, for the Jolly Marriage Show on A Jolly Marriage on Facebook, Instagram, Willie Jolley, the real Willie Jolley on Instagram, and Willie Jolley on LinkedIn Live, and then the Jolly Marriage Show on YouTube, where we help marriages to grow and to be enhanced and help you to stay together and grow together. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast. And for sure, your best is yet to come. Have a great week on purpose, everybody. God bless you.
And everybody's right sometimes, some rain's gonna fall.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire. williejolly.com/billionaire or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.